Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijama here, and in today's tutorial we are going to learn how to make this beautiful bubu dress with a fishing line detail. I don't know how to explain it. A fishing line detail and an accordion fabric. You can call it accordion, you can call it sunray. It depends on the one you got in the market. This particular one that I'm using is not ideal. This one is heavy. Okay, I used it because that is what is available right now in my office, and I had to make this tutorial with it. But if you are buying this sunray, buy a light one, a lightweight sunray, or a lightweight accordion fabric. It should be light, very very light, so that the fishing line can give you waves enough. Now I have just 2 yards here, and I'll manage it that way. I'll fold my fabric. Of course, I am not that big. I am size 10. I'll fold my fabric into two, and I'll measure the width. After measuring the width, I have like 25 inches, right? So 25 for the front, 25 for the back, and that will be enough for me. After that, I will fold it into two again. Okay, that means I am cutting the front and the back at the same time. Now the cutting of this bubu is not really difficult. You don't have to do too much. So I'm trying to check the length, and the full length I have is okay. Now the next thing that I am going to do is to mark where my armhole will stop at. So my armhole will stop at my bust point, 10 inches. That is where my hand will come out from, so I call this armhole. Okay, now for the neck width, you're not going to give it any round neck. The neck line is going to be straight. Okay, from the center of the fabric, I checked and I marked 4 inches for my neck width. These 4 inches will be able to enter my head. If you want to make it 5, you can make it 5, so that when you open it, it will be 10. Then I checked the extra fabric that I have, and I think I can manage it that way. Though if you want your own shoulder to be long, like if you want your shoulder to be up to 12 inches, that would be fine. But my own, I have about 8 inches from there. Now I am cutting this out. After cutting it out, I will open up the remaining part of the fabric. So I have two pieces here. I have my front and I have my back. Okay, after cutting it, you can see that place that I marked 4 inches for my neckline. You will notch it. You don't have to cut any round neckline. You don't have to cut anything out from that neckline. Just notch where your neckline will stop at. Your neckline will be straight, very straight. Don't touch it. So notch your armhole. My armhole, I said that it will stop at 10. 10 is my bust point, so I use it as my armhole. Then this neckline, 4 inches, I will notch it also. So I have notched that place. The next thing that I am going to do is to open them up. Okay, so if I open them up, I will cut out a facing for it. What I am calling this facing is the cape, the one on top. You know, this bubu has a cape on top of it. So this remaining fabric is what I'm going to use for that cape. Now I will fold it and measure the width. I have like 31 inches, and it is okay. I can manage it. But if you want your own to be long, to be reaching your elbow, you should measure out at least 42. So that would be 21 on fold. So you should measure out to 42, but my own is just 30, and that is okay for me. Now for the length of this cape, I want it to stop at 13 inches. 13 is actually long. I went ahead to reduce it to 12. Okay, but if you're making your own, you should stop at your bust point. Your bust point is okay. Okay, so I should have made this 10, but I made it 12. And do not do 12 unless your bust point is 12 inches. So this cape should start from your shoulder to your bust point. So I should have made it 10. Now I will fold it and I'll mark my neckline again. You know, my neckline was 4 inches on my main fabric. I'll mark out my main neckline and I'll measure out the width that I have. I think I'm okay with wherever it will stop at around my sleeve, for my sleeve. So I notched that 4 inches that I marked as my neckline. The same way I notched the 4 inches I marked as my neckline on the main fabric. I hope we understand. Now the next thing that I am going to do is to place the facing on the main fabric. Place the facing on the main fabric. Now you place it, I'll show you how to do. You need to turn it inside out, like the facing you will use the cape to turn the neckline inside out. So now this is the wrong side of the main fabric, and I place the right side of the main fabric to it. So I will just run a straight line. This place that I'm marking this chop, at that neck width, just the neck width. Just run a straight line and turn it over to the front. Okay, now this is for the back, and this side you are seeing is the wrong side of that bubu. The wrong side of your main fabric should be facing you. Now the wrong side of the facing should be facing you too. Okay, the wrong side of the main fabric should be facing you. The wrong side of the facing or the cape should be facing you too. So I'll go ahead and pin, and I'll mark a straight line along where I'm going to stitch. So I am stitching only the neckline, just a straight line. Like I said, the neckline is not a round neck. Now after running that straight stitch, the next thing that I am going to do is to turn it over. Do not top stitch on this cape, just turn it over to the right side. So I'm trimming off the allowance I have there. This fabric I'm using is thick and heavy, but if you're using the light accordion, you don't have any problem. I had to trim down my allowance so that it will relax, and I also notched it very well so that the cape will relax very well at the front. So that cape is what you are going to use to turn your neckline. I hope you understand what I mean now. Right now you can see the place that I notched. This particular area, I will pin the cape together with the shoulder. You can see I'm pinning the cape to the shoulder line. I will stitch the two of them together. Now the same thing we did at the front, we are going to repeat it at the back. Trim your allowance, notch your cape so that it will relax very well at the front area. So you can see what I have. After notching it, you bring out the remaining part that you did not stitch. You can see that rough shoulder. The shoulder is still rough. The cape around the shoulder is still rough too. Now I am going to shape this bubu as if I am shaping a butterfly bubu. You know how you stitch a butterfly bubu? You normally run your stitch on the right side of the fabric. Okay, I am going to shape it as a butterfly bubu, but the fabric that I'm using is not too wide. So what I'm going to do is just to sew it from the outside, from the right side of the fabric, and I am using my weaving to shape it. My weaving machine, I will use it to shape it once. I'll just use my weaving to close it, and that is all. Okay, so right now I am pinning the shoulder of the front to the shoulder of the back. You can see I'm pinning the two of them together, the facing, the shoulder of the front, the facing and the shoulder of the back. I'll pin everything together. I will sew from the right side of my fabric. This is not inner sewing. The sewing will be on the outside, and I want to use my weaving to sew it. But if you want your own to be inside, if you want to sew it from the inside, it is still okay. I just want to weave it from the outside so that to have this decorative look. I'm using black weaving, so it's more like a decorative look. So this bubu, everything is just straight. You don't have to cut any curve, any round neckline, nothing. After turning your neckline, close your shoulder and your cape, and that is it. So right now I will use my weaving machine to close my shoulder. That place that I pinned, I will use my weaving machine to close, and I'm using a black weaving thread. That black weaving thread is for decoration. Right now I am done shaping this shoulder. I will open it up and then weave the cape. You need to weave the cape. Right after weaving the cape, you will weave the full length of this gown. Then the side seam, if you are doing butterfly shaping, you will run a stitch on the both sides, but I said I will use my weaving to shape the side. Okay, I'll just use my weaving to shape the sides. So this is me right now. I will open up my sleeve. You can see where I notched for my sleeve length, that 10 inches. You can see the notch. I weaved that place. Your sleeve will be open. Then from that place, I'll start closing the bubu downwards. But the place that I'll bring out my hand from, I weaved them separately. Then I'm using this weaving to weave or to shape my gown down to the full length. Now if I get to the full length using my weaving machine, I'll also weave the full length. But if you don't have weaving machine, if you are just doing normal sewing, use your threads to shape it like butterfly. Measure your body measurement, shape it, and you will take it to weaving. The person that will weave it for you will weave the sides and the full length. So now I am done weaving the side. I'll also weave the full length. This is the other shoulder. So this black that I'm using is more like a decorative stitch. Now after weaving that shoulder, I opened up my cape and I weaved the full length of my cape. like the hand side, the sleeve side. Now after doing that also, I will get the armhole of this side. You can see where I notched for my armhole. I will weave that armhole straight. You don't need to close it because your hand will come out from there. Then I will also shape the side of that gown from there. Now I'm done shaping that side, and I'll also shape the full length of that part. Now after doing all this, after shaping every other side, after stitching and shaping your cape, the only thing remaining now is the full length of the cape. That place that has that wavy look, the area that has the wavy look, you are going to fix your fishing line there. If you don't know how to fix your fishing line, you can take it to people that do weaving. They know how to do it. They will do it for you. This particular machine that I'm using wasn't designed for this. A weaving machine, you can set it for English weaving. The weaving they call English weaving. You can set it for English weaving, and you can set it for normal weaving. My own is for normal weaving strictly. This particular machine do not do with English weaving. Okay, so it will not give me that tight and wavy look. The best machine for this is any weaving machine that does English weaving. It will give you that tight and wavy look. Your fishing line will be very tight to the clothes, and it will give you a very fine wavy look. But this particular weaving machine does not do that. Okay, but at the same time, it wasn't that bad. It's tried, but the best is English weaving. If you go to weave it, tell them you want to do English weaving. Even the full length of this dress should be English weaving. The side, in everything should be English weaving. It will help give your dress that wavy look. The hemline will have a wavy look and all that. So I'm done doing the finished fishing line at the front. I am adding the fishing line to the back of the dress now. Okay, so after adding that, I will show you guys what it looks like. So guys, registration for our bubu online class is ongoing. We have a bubu online class where we taught about 5 different types of bubu. If you're a beginner in bubu, you should register for that class. Okay, at the end of the day, this is what we have. The fishing line wasn't so wavy, but it's tried. So if you're doing yours, take it to someone that does English weaving. Thank you all. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.